The life of a videographer is pretty interesting. You never know who they're going to assign you to film. You never know where you're going to go. I've been Africa, Mexico, all over Canada, all over North America, and the Rockies, down to the swamps in Florida. So I'm sitting in this thing with Dale Earnhardt. It's pitch black dark. The guide leaves. As soon as the guide leaves, Dale turns to me and says, "All right, Chad, do your thing." And I said, "Do what thing?" And he said, "Oh, I know what you're telling us in camp, but you're doing something. You're putting out some scent. You got some horns you're rattling. You're doing something. Nobody's that lucky." And I said, "You're right, Dale. Nobody is that lucky. But it ain't skill." And I said, "All right, Dale, kill him." He said, "You ready?" I said, "I'm on him." And that deer just stands there. And I look at Dale, and Dale looks at me, and I said, "Kill him again." In that moment of challenge, in that moment of difficulty, he called out to God and said, "God, if you are real, save me, and I will give you my life." He had just finished those words, not making this up now. A Cape buffalo with the big boss and the swooping horns came thundering through the brush. Dust just kicking up everywhere, and it comes right in towards me. He's thinking, "Oh my goodness, this is a bad day." And he said, "Well, man," he said, "we still have a few hours. Why don't you go use the bathroom and then come back?" And I said, "All right, man, I'm gonna do that." I said, "You got any toilet paper?" And he said, "Man, I didn't bring any." "Oh, man, thank goodness I got on clean boxers." I've killed the area so bad. It is so awful. I had to get up and move. I mean, I'm like, you know, trying to shuffle over. And I get over behind the cactus. And I'm just sitting there and I'm moaning. I'm like, "Oh." And all of a sudden, I hear something. And I'm like, "Dang, that sounds like a deer. I know there ain't no deer around here." And I look, and over the cactus, I see a rat sticking out coming our way. I'm like, "You're kidding me." And this buck walks up about 20 yards away, and he catches my eyes. Now there I am, with what the good Lord gave me in my birthday suit from my waist down. And I'm looking at that buck, and he's looking at me, and I think he's fixing to run. And the back hair stands up on his back. He lays back his ears and flares his nostrils and does that posture where he's kind of like stiff-legged. I'm thinking, dude, he's fixing to charge. I'm like, this ain't cool. I mean, all I have is a pair of fingernail clippers, you know. I'm like, and I realize this is pretty serious. And you see that bulge coming, and it gets about right here to me to you. And it's, again, my side. And you see that bulge coming, and the bulge disappears. And I'm thinking, all right, this thing's fixing to ram the bottom of the boat and turn it over and just start punching. And I'm tense, man. I'm not scared of cats, but I was scared. I was scared for my life. And right in that moment where you anticipate that boom, and the boat just to get rattled, a little fish that big jumps out of the water and hits me in the chest, and I scream like a bird. All of a sudden, from the grass, I mean, it was like not much further than me to you. This lion lunges out. Pano threw up the gun. He had this bolt-action rifle and stuck it in the lion's mouth. The lion crushed his gun. It broke the stock. Just shattered it. Knocked him back on his back. The client ran. Now, if God metaphorically looked at the tracks of your life, what would he see? You see, if God looked at your thoughts, what's he going to find there? If God looked at your spoken words that you have spoken to your wife or spouse, or your children, or to somebody else, what's God going to hear? If God looked at your actions, what's he going to see? Well, here's the part you got to understand. God will look at your tracks. God will look at your thoughts, your actions, your deeds. Jeremiah 17:10. I, the Lord, search the heart and examine the mind to reward a man according to his conduct, according to what his deeds deserve. Now, what do you deserve? Based on your deeds. Hell. That's what I deserve. That's what we all deserve because of sin. Now, what is the hope? Is there was one person that lived out those 10 commandments that could not be prosecuted because he lived every one of them perfectly. And you know who that is? Jesus Christ. Your priorities change when you're a Christian. Like I mentioned about trespassing. When I had about 3,000 acres to hunt and I was still trespassed because it wasn't enough. Nowadays I have only a few hundred acres to hunt. And if a bird is gobbling on the other side of the fence 2 feet away from the property line, I won't shoot it. Because my priorities have changed. Because I represent Christ now in every decision, everything that I do. But I assure you, if you think hunting and fishing is going to bring you true fulfillment in life, you only find out you'll be sorely disappointed. And there's so much more to life than what you'll experience through that. So,
Thank you, Chad.